How fitting is it that you have Shawn Michaels and the Nature Boy Ric Flair in one corner? Their cockiness, their attitude. It's just so fitting. And then on the other side, you have the Intercontinental Champion and the World Wrestling Federation Champion in Bret the Hitman Hart and Macho Man Randy Savage. What a team. Both coming from a wrestling family. Macho Man, member of the Poffo family, and the Hitman coming from the well-known Hart family from Calgary. And it's Michaels who gets a quick start and a quick shift on the Hitman. And it gets even more cocky, the fact that Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair have Mr. Perfect in their corner. A man whose whole lifestyle is on being perfect, when the reality is there's no such thing as perfect. And now the pace is starting to pick up, but this time Michaels gets caught with an inverted atomic drop, and the Macho Man coming in hot. The Nature Boy doesn't want any part of it. Macho Man personifies intensity. And Macho Man lives life like there is no tomorrow. Keeps the energy high. That's the thing you gotta love about Macho Man. He's an all-in guy. You either go all in or not at all. And Macho Man brings 100% intensity every chance he has. Meanwhile, across the ring from him is the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who loves to do everything in style. And talk about style, these two tying up collar and elbow as Flair effortlessly backs Savage into the corner. Flair flexing a bit. And now tie up again. And Flair now gets caught in the hammerlock. Flair wisely using the ropes that will force the rope break. Macho Man cannot afford to get himself disqualified. Savage, a slap to Flair. But the question is, was that the right call? Flair did not appreciate that whatsoever as they lock up once again, but it's Macho Man who takes down Flair with a shoulder tackle. Now pushes Flair down again. Savage, another slap to the face of Flair. And now it's Macho Man who is trying to almost taunt Flair in a way, kind of toy with him a little bit. Meanwhile, Flair and Michaels are discussing sort of a plan of action. Oh, what a thunderous chop by Flair. And now Flair brings in those knife edge chops. But it's Michaels who gets tagged in. And this is rough for Savage, who's trying to fight out of the corner. Michaels and Flair working on the Macho Man, Randy Savage. And now it's Michaels who comes in with these heavy rights. And now sending Savage face first into the top turnbuckle. And sends him hard across the ring. But problem is nobody's home for Michaels. Michaels goes shoulder first into the steel post. But now it's the Hitman who's in this match. The Intercontinental Champion. And now, knowing that Michaels' shoulder hit the steel post hard, the Hitman's going to take advantage of that. And that's what makes Bret Hart so technically sound inside the squared circle, is he knows how to break a body part piece by piece once he sees a weakness in his opponent. And the tag's been made to the Macho Man, who's up at the top with a double axe handle to the arm of Michaels. The longer this goes on for Michaels, it's going to get worse and worse. And that left shoulder, that left arm is just going to get worse and worse. It's going to get weaker and weaker. And what that does is it makes it a lot more difficult for upper body use in a match, because not only are you experiencing exhaustion, but you're experiencing weakness on top of that due to the damage being done to the arm. Meanwhile, Michaels blocked out of the corner, but Savage still able to connect with a clothesline, and it's the Hitman with a beautiful right to Michaels. I'll tell you what, when it comes to Savage and Hart, they're not holding back. It's in their blood to do this. And Bret with his hammerlock on Michaels, weakening up the injured left shoulder. Michaels trying to figure out how to get out of it. It's going to be no easy task at hand, though, for the Heartbreak Kid, who drives Bret back into the corner, forcing this separation that was much needed. Michaels able to get a scoop slam, but you can see for a split second going right after that arm. It was a little bit tough on the arm going for that scoop slam. Flair went for an elbow drop, but there was nobody home. But, you know, Flair plays a little dirty. If you didn't see it, that thumb to the eye. Flair's always got a plan. Nice right from the Nature Boy to the Hitman. And it's Flair who's got Bret right where he wants him with a thunderous chop to the Hitman in the corner. And Flair sending Hart across the ring, but Hart counters, and Flair hits the corner hard and then flies in the air to crash and burn in the mat. Flair trying to pick up some momentum, but it's Savage who comes in with these lefts, heads to the ropes, and elbow, sends Michaels off the apron. Oh, it seemed that Mr. Perfect was going to get on the apron too. Flair got knocked down again. It's now Flair who's pleading with Savage. And now it's Savage up with those rights. Inverted atomic drop now from the Nature Boy. And Nature Boy, who was looking for that patented figure four submission, countered by Macho Man. Good looking for another attempt, but it's Macho Man who breaks free of it again. Nice hip toss from Savage to Michaels. It's a nice kick there from Michaels, that super kick. And now the official trying to hold Bret from getting his hands on Mr. Perfect, who wants to get a little bit more involved than just being on the outside and cheering on his team. But to nobody's surprise that Mr. Perfect was going to get even slightly physical in this match. And the official, Hebner, trying to keep Bret back. Bret, of course, not the legal man. The legal man for his team, Macho Man Randy Savage, the World Wrestling Federation champion. Oh, and a knee right to the face. And it's Macho Man who's not in a good way in the corner. Michaels now with a snapmare. Michaels stomping away on the champion. And Bret Hart, who gets in the ring, he may not be the legal man, but he's desperately trying to get his hands on Michaels. Oh, look at this. Sherry. What a shot. What a cheap shot by Sherry to Savage. And the ref didn't see any of it because he's too focused on Hart and Perfect. And it's Michaels who now makes the tag to the Nature Boy. We're seeing some really well-rounded teamwork from the Heartbreak Kid and the Nature Boy. I guess when you have similar personalities, everything all works out. Knee drop, takes down Savage. Oh, and a cheap shot by Perfect. And Bret telling the ref to pay attention, but meanwhile, this is a 4-on-2. You've got Sherry, you've got Perfect on the outside, and they're not legal. Meanwhile, the two legal men are Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels, but they're taking advantage of all of their tools. Oh, Flair, nice knife edge chop there, goes for the cover, but it's a near fall in which Savage is able to kick out at 2. Bret Hart once again taking full advantage of the opportunity. Some see it as a situation. Some see it as an opportunity. If you look at it from the perspective of Bret trying to tell the ref, hey, this is what's going on. Meanwhile, the ref is distracted. It's all defeating the purpose. Because it's almost like the ref is not listening to what Bret is trying to say. And then by the time the ref turns around, an attack has already happened that he couldn't see. And now it's Flair sending Savage into the corner. Another thunderous chop. Flair starting to pack some heat in these shots on Savage. Savage exerting quite a bit of strength to kick out. Flair using the ropes for additional leverage, but did not work out. Now it's Savage who's trying to fight back, but gets knocked right back down by the Nature Boy. The last couple of minutes have been in favor of Flair and Michaels. And Savage gets Flair in a baseball slide cover, but now this time Bret gets in the... trying to tell Michaels off, but again gets sent back in his corner. Inside cradle. Inside cradle, but it gets countered. Flair switched it over. And Bret trying to make the cover, but not quite enough. And a backdrop suplex to Savage from Michaels. And it's Savage who still showing signs of life as he continues to fight through it. And Michaels still keeping on the attack of Savage. Meanwhile, Flair is really enjoying being in the driver's seat. And it's Sherry and Mr. Perfect watching on, all focused. Like they're almost like they're a part of this. Can tell you what, they're doing a lot more than just being cheerleaders. And right now, someone who might need a cheerleader is Macho Man. As the crowd getting behind the World Wrestling Federation champion, who's doing everything he can to fight back. Michaels makes a tag to Flair. Drop toe hold. Knocks Savage right back down to the mat, preventing Savage from getting anywhere close to making a tag to the Hitman. And what a big win it would be for Michaels and Flair to get a victory over for both champions. You've got the Intercontinental Champion, Bret Hart, and the World Wrestling Federation Macho Man. It seems that there might be a sign of hope. Flair going to take a chance on the opportunity. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good for Flair. Uh-oh. Off the top, Flair crashes and burns. And now the tag's been made to the Hitman. And now it's Hart hammering away with the rights on Flair. And what goes up must come down. Big back body drop for Flair. And Michaels getting sent hard into the corner. And so does Flair. Flair getting caught up in the ropes. Oh, and a gut shot. And the family jewels aren't feeling so friendly after connecting with the rope. And a suplex over the top rope back into the ring as Flair was on the apron. Bret, who's done it all in the World Wrestling Federation, from Intercontinental Champion to Tag Team Champion to World Wrestling Federation Champion. Hart has done it almost all twice. Looking for that triple double. Oh, and Hart and Savage. They got it. Savage and Hart get the win. And although Michaels doesn't like the outcome, the winners are the World Wrestling Federation champion and the Intercontinental champion, Bret the Hitman Hart and Macho Man Randy Savage.